It was 15 years ago from now. Back when I was in elementary school. April came around, and we had a class shuffle. Our new class teacher was a young woman. When lunchtime came, the teacher turned to a girl who sat next to me and told her not to eat the school lunch. "Katie, you haven't paid your lunch fee, so don't eat, okay?" Katie, who always wore ragged clothes, was a skinny little girl. Apparently, her family was poor, and since last fall, her parents hadn't been paying the school lunch fee. I learned about this later on from overhearing some gossip. But it seemed she was allowed to eat lunch the previous year. Seeing her being the only one without any food on her desk and just looking down made me feel sorry for her. But since the teacher ate lunch in the same room, I couldn't secretly share my food with her. So I left just the bread, wrapped it in a napkin, hid it in my desk, and gave it to Katie after lunch was over and the teacher left the room. "You can eat this." "Really? Thank you, Jason." Back then, I was an outcast among my classmates and had no friends in the same class. But after that incident, I started talking to Katie. When I got home that day, I told my mom about Katie's family situation. "Mom, please, can you make a packed lunch for Katie?" When I pleaded like that, my mom responded, "That poor child, if she can't eat lunch, it won't be good for her growth, and she probably can't concentrate on her studies when she's hungry. It's fine. I'm already making your dad's lunch every day, so adding one more portion won't make much difference." With that, she gladly agreed. The next day at lunch break, when I handed over the homemade lunch my mom made, Katie's eyes widened in surprise. "My mom said to give this to you." "Is this a packed lunch?" "Yeah, I told her about you, and she said to give it to you." "Really? Thank you, Jason." She hurriedly ate the lunch before the teacher returned to the classroom. It turned out that Katie's house was in the same direction as mine, so from that day on, we decided to walk home together. While walking, Katie told me about her life. "My dad doesn't work, yet he spends all our money on slot machines and horse races. My mom earns the money, but my dad takes it all." Because of this, they were struggling and even in debt. Seeing her wearing the same tattered clothes every day, I felt sorry for her. Our classmates just watched her from a distance. Neither of us had friends. After that, we started meeting up in the morning and going to school together. Some of our classmates teased us, saying, "Are you two dating or something?" But we tried not to let it bother us. I've always been bad at talking to people, but for some reason, I felt at ease talking to Katie. I didn't realize it, but it seemed I was lonelier than I thought, not having any friends. I was really happy to be able to talk to her. On our way to and from school, we talked about a lot of things. About our families, our favorite foods and animals, homework, and TV shows we watched the previous night. And I found out she loves cats. She can't have one at her house, but she enjoys visiting a nearby park where stray cats often gather. "My family has a cat. Want to come over and see it?" "Really? Sure." When I brought her to my house after school that day, my mom warmly welcomed her. When our mixed breed cat showed up, Katie's eyes sparkled with delight. "How cute. What's its name?" "It's Mary." "Mary, come here." Katie looked so happy, cuddling the cat, playing with toys, and feeding it treats. Seeing her radiant smile, which she didn't show at school, somehow made me feel happy too. In a blink of an eye, it was evening, and my mom prepared dinner, even for Katie. "Katie, can you give me your home phone number? I'll call your folks and let them know you're here." With that, my mom called her house. During the call, she seemed deeply engrossed in the conversation. After that day, Katie began having dinner at our house every night. Apparently, her mom often worked late, and her dad, who was at home, didn't do any housework. As a result, their dinner time was always late. So, with her parents' permission, our mom started looking after her meals. After school, Katie and I would do our homework and play with the cat until dinner. However, about a year into this routine, Katie had to move. Her parents divorced, and she decided to move with her mom to her maternal grandparents' place in Texas. Before moving, she and her mom came over to say goodbye. "I can't thank you enough for all that you've done for Katie. We'll never forget your kindness." Saying so, her mother bowed to my mom. "Oh, please, it's okay. Please, raise your head. We help each other out during tough times. Don't give it another thought." My mom was a person of strong principles and kindness. I have tremendous respect for her. I can't recall the conversation I had with Katie that day. I haven't seen her since. We exchanged Christmas cards every year, but that also ceased after 5 to 6 years. Then, I graduated college and started working at a precision machinery manufacturer. I was assigned to sales, and it's been 3 years now. Taking over clients from seniors and establishing new ones, I now handle numerous major accounts. "Good morning, Jason." My colleague, Mike, from the next desk greeted me. "Good morning. Tomorrow we've got a meeting with AB Electronics. It's a big deal that's vital for the company. You pumped and prepared?" "Yes, I'll have it ready for review later." As we talked, a secretary called out to Mike. "Mike, there's a call for you from AB Electronics." Picking up the phone, Mike's face turned pale rapidly. "What? How could this? Yes, I see. I'm terribly sorry. Right away, please, can you give us one more chance?" "Wait, hold on." After hanging up, he just stared blankly, still holding the phone. "What happened?" Turning to me, he said, "Jason, you gave the wrong time to AB Electronics for our meeting, didn't you? They thought the meeting was yesterday. They're furious that we stood them up. This deal is toast. It's your fault." "What? But wasn't it you who communicated the schedule to them?" "What? You're trying to pin this on me." I wanted to throw his words right back at him. To begin with, I hadn't communicated the schedule to the client at all. Mike had arranged the schedule and then informed me about it later. And yet, trying to blame it on me. He reported the matter to his boss, and Supervisor Johnson went to apologize on his behalf. However, they wouldn't listen, and in the end, the deal with AB Electronics fell through. When Johnson returned, he said to me, "Jason, what have you done? Because of you, the crucial deal we staked our company's future on has been ruined. How are you going to make this right?" "But sir, it wasn't me who informed them about the schedule. It was Mike." "Enough. No excuses. You've caused harm to the company. Maybe you should consider resigning." That's something Johnson always says when he's angry. "Wait, I really don't want to quit." "Then bring in a contract worth the same amount as the machine we were going to sell to AB Electronics within 3 days, or you are fired." How could I possibly secure such a deal in just 3 days? I was at a loss for words after hearing Johnson's ultimatum. But then, I remembered something. There's a client who's currently considering purchasing the same machine we were planning to sell to AB Electronics. They always try to haggle the price down, constantly negotiating for discounts. I'd almost given up, thinking they had no intention of buying. But now, I had to somehow close the deal with them. I quickly revised the quotation and set an appointment with that client. Upon arriving at their company, a man named Kevin assisted me. "I brought a new quotation today." I handed him the quote, and Kevin scrutinized it. "Can't you go a little lower?" "I really can't go any lower. We've adjusted the price several times already," I pleaded with Kevin, putting on a distressed look. "Please, Kevin, I'm sure our equipment will be very beneficial to your company. We'll even include regular maintenance." Kevin pondered, crossing his arms. "I get what you're saying, but at this price, my superiors might not approve. I personally want to purchase it, but how about I explain the benefits directly to your boss, maybe over a meal or something?" "That might be difficult. My boss is pretty busy. I'm begging you, Kevin, please just give me a chance to discuss it over dinner," I pleaded desperately. "The machine sells for tens of thousands of dollars. For our company, the cost of a dinner would be insignificant compared to the sale." "All right, I'll ask, but my boss is out right now, so I'll get back to you another day." "That's fine. Thank you so much." Kevin saw me out of the conference room. Just then, the elevator opened, and an older man entered the office. "Supervisor, I wanted to see you. Do you have a moment?" Seeing him, Kevin immediately approached. "So, this is Kevin's superior." Kevin explained the situation to Supervisor. But to my surprise, Supervisor began to shout angrily. "Trying to win us over with a dinner. We've told you countless times if we can't afford it, we can't buy it. If you can't offer a better price, then just leave, and don't come back. Did I do something so wrong to be yelled at like this?" While I was still in shock, Kevin whispered to me as he nudged me towards the exit. "I'm sorry, he is just in a bad mood today. He always lashes out like this when he's upset. It seems Supervisor is quite a difficult character. But without his approval, we won't be able to finalize the deal. If I don't land this contract, I'm gonna lose my job. What should I do?" As I was racking my brain, I heard the sound of heels clicking down the hallway. "Wait, Supervisor." I turned around to the sound of a young woman's voice, and there stood a beautiful woman in a business suit. "Watson, what's up?" She quickly approached the puzzled-looking Supervisor. "I've reviewed the documents too, and I believe that equipment from that company would be valuable for us. Please consider purchasing it." She looked straight into Supervisor's eyes as she spoke. "Well, if you say so, Watson." "Kevin, move forward with the contract process right away." Supervisor then turned to me and said that. "What?" I was absolutely gobsmacked. For a moment, I had no idea what had just happened. "So, you're saying you'll make the purchase?" "Yes, Jason. Can't say no when the boss's daughter asks. Now can we?" "Boss's daughter? This woman?" As I looked at her, she smiled and said, "Jason, long time no see. Don't you remember me?" Even though she said that, I don't recall knowing any Watson. But as I continued to gaze into her face, it felt somewhat familiar. "Wait, who are you again?" She spoke up again. "Do you remember me as Katie?" "Katie? Oh, is she talking about the same Katie I used to walk to and from school with and hang out at my place during grade school? She's changed so much, I didn't recognize her." "Whoa, it's been like 15 years, hasn't it?" "Yeah, so nostalgic. I saw your name on the business card attached to the documents and thought it might be you." "Really? But boss's daughter?" "Actually, my mom remarried when I was in high school, and I took on the name Watson." "Wow, really? Hey, Jason, instead of just standing here chatting, want to go out for a drink tonight?" "Sure, sounds good." Katie and I exchanged contact info and planned to meet for drinks after work. When I got back to the office and reported the good news, my supervisor was taken aback. "You really got the contract?" "Yes. We haven't signed the papers yet, but we got the green light." "Great job, Jason." Supervisor was thrilled. Looking over at my colleague, Mike, he seemed uneasy at his desk. After wrapping up work for the day and heading to the bar for our meetup, I found Katie already waiting. "Thanks for today. You saved me. I didn't get fired because of you." "What are you talking about?" As I filled her in, she was sympathetic. It's terrible for a senior to put the blame on a junior like that, huh? Well, thanks to you, the deal went through, so I'm really grateful. Seriously, thanks." Upon hearing my gratitude, Katie shyly smiled. "I'm honored I could help. To be honest, I've always been grateful to you for everything. We lost touch after I moved, but I'm glad we could reconnect like this." According to Katie's story, when she was in high school, her mother divorced and began dating a man who was then the manager of the office where she worked. They eventually got married. However, a few years later, Katie's stepfather's father, the CEO of the New York headquarters, fell ill. To take over his position, their whole family moved to the city. "You could have let me know when you moved back." "Sorry, but weren't you the one who stopped replying to my New Year's cards first, Jason?" "Did I?" "Yes, so I thought maybe you found a girlfriend, and I didn't want to intrude." Turns out, I never did get a girlfriend. "Really? No girlfriend?" "Nope, none." "Well, maybe our meeting here is fate. If you're okay with it, would you like to date me?" I was taken aback by her sudden confession and was rendered speechless for a moment. But it wasn't that I disliked the idea, I was actually really happy. Back in elementary school, being around her always made me happy, and whenever she laughed, I felt joy. I remembered that feeling. Of course, I'd love to. I extended my right hand to her, and she gently took it. Really, I'm so happy. This is how we started dating. 2 years later, I proposed, and we got married. "Mary, dinner's ready." Meow. Seeing her play with our cat, she seemed just like the old times. Katie had faced many challenges growing up, but from now on, I wanted to be by her side and make her happy.